Welcome to STEMinist Talk, a deep dive where we highlight the inspiring stories of women in science and related fields.
Yeah, and today we're exploring someone truly phenomenal. So we're diving into the life of Grace Hopper.
Right, and our mission here is really to show that, well, the history of technology is fundamentally a history of women.
Absolutely.
So to start us off, I want you to picture a curious 7-year-old girl in 1913. She really wants to know how time works. So she dismantles an alarm clock.
Oh, wow. Just takes it right apart.
Yeah, takes it completely apart, and then she does it to another. She actually dismantles 7 household alarm clocks just to see what makes them tick.
I love that. And, that little girl grew up to rebel against mechanical limits and literally teach computers how to understand human language.
She really did.
Yeah.
But the roadblocks for her started early. Like in the 1920s, she was barred from studying engineering just because she was a woman.
Right, which is just wild to think about now.
It really is. So she pivoted, right? She went and earned a math PhD from Yale in 1934.
Which was incredibly rare at the time. And then, when World War II broke out, she tried to enlist in the Navy.
But they rejected her, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I mean, they told her she was too old and too skinny. She was 34 years old and weighed just 105 pounds.
Wait, really? Just based on her weight and age?
Exactly. But she didn't accept that. She actually fought for a waiver, got into the Navy waves in 1943, and was assigned to Harvard.
To work on that massive Mark I computer.
Yeah, that giant machine.
And from what I understand, she basically wrote the world's very first tech troubleshooting guide for it. Like, she authored this massive 561-page operational manual for the Mark I.
She did. She systematically documented how to operate it, breaking down complex mathematical problems into sequential codes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really foundational work for what we now call software programming.
That is just incredible. And then, so after the war, she moved to the private sector and invents the compiler. Right, so she got tired of writing complex binary code. Did she essentially build, like, a translation dictionary directly into the computer's memory?
That is exactly how it works. Before Hopper, humans had to write in machine-specific binary or octal code, just ones and zeros.
Which sounds incredibly tedious.
And it was completely tedious and so error-prone. But she realized that computers could do the translating for us. So with her A0 compiler and later the Flowmatic, a programmer could just type an English verb like, say, multiply.
Right.
And the compiler cross-referenced that word against a built-in library of subroutines and just automatically generated those ones and zeros.
Wow, so she basically invented the bridge between human intent and machine execution.
Exactly. And that directly led to COBOL, which is the business language that's still running global finance today.
But the establishment really fought her on this, didn't they? Like, her male peers insisted computers could only do arithmetic and couldn't process English.
Yeah, they were very resistant to the idea.
And that feels like, well, more than just technical skepticism. To me, it reads like psychological gatekeeping.
How so?
I mean, making programming accessible to anyone who spoke English kind of threatened their elite exclusive status,
Yeah, you're spotting a really deliberate shift in the industry there. In the early days, women were actually the original human computers.
Right. Doing all those complex, low-paid mathematical calculations.
Exactly. But as software development matured and these machines became more powerful, the field underwent this huge rebranding. Coding suddenly became software engineering.
Right. They took a term like engineering, which was historically this prestigious, male-dominated domain.
Basically to systematically push women out.
Yeah, it's really sad.
A stark example of this is the landmark 1968 NATO Software Engineering Conference.
Oh, I've heard of this. It was an exclusively male event, right?
It was. Grace Hopper, the pioneer who practically invented the compiler, wasn't even invited.
That is just wild. Her technical genius was marginalized by her own peers, but, her knack for communication is what actually cemented her legacy.
It really is. Which actually brings up the famous 1947 computer bug.
Oh, yeah, where her team found a literal moth stuck in a relay of the Mark II computer.
Right, but there's a bit of a myth there. Hopper didn't discover the moth, and she didn't coin the term bug either.
Wait, really? Who did?
Thomas Edison used that word decades earlier to describe mechanical flaws.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, but Hopper's brilliant storytelling just popularized the concept for the digital age. It proves again that her greatest strength was making technology accessible.
She was just so invaluable. The Navy even recalled her to active duty at age 60.
Yeah, she finally retired at 79 as a rear admiral. She was the oldest active duty officer in the U.S. Armed Forces at the time.
That is so inspiring. You know, her ethos wasn't just about breaking mechanical clocks. It was about breaking institutional rules. So for any young people listening, especially young women, if a closed system tells you that you don't belong or that a new way of thinking is impossible, do it anyway. You absolutely belong in STEM.
I love that.